Hello. Basically, last time you saw me carve a nose, now I'm carving an eye. Uh, Things didn't go out according to plan, or whatever the plan was originally. Had a little sketch going on, but I decided to do an eye, and here's the eye. Also, like, I wouldn't say crashed out, but I got rid of some of the stuff that was around the corner over there. And yeah, look, dude, let's hammer this thing in, bro. Look at that. Pretty dope. And yeah, so you'll be able to see what I did later at the end.
Goblin blood orgy.
Chinese food. Chinese food. Most Chinese food, perhaps, that I've gotten, right? Anecdotal. No mass generalizations. Because that's a slippery slope to racism. And I'm not racist. Unless it's Iranians and Palestinians, because remember, I support the thing. I'm a good goy. Ugu gaga. Shabbat shalom, my N words. Most Chinese food is just a large appetizer. They're great with like portions and stuff, unlike the Japanese. You got anorexic island boys and then a bunch of big-bellied Buddhas. That's why I love Korean barbecue. That is why I love Korean barbecue. The Koreans have the right ideas. They have their own fried chicken, their own barbecue, and the women are getting BBLs and bolt-ons. And to top it off, they love hustling. And how about those rooftop Koreans during the Rodney King riots? Waving guns around, blasting fools. And a whole bunch of them were imported to a Kia factory in Georgia, but immediately got deported.
I'm gonna come.
Some mentally ill woman thought they were illegal and sent the nice boys after them. True story. So Koreans love fried chicken. They love barbecue. They love hustling. The ladies are getting BBLs, bolt-ons, weaves, and they don't show up to their job in Atlanta, Georgia, because they're too busy on rooftops of Los Angeles beefing over a liquor store. Folks, if you got two brain cells, you can draw your own conclusions on who Koreans remind me of.
Let him cook. Let him cook.
Exactly. All right. Talking about the South Side Koreans. Can't mess with the North Side K-boys, because they'll show up to the function and blow the whole thing up. You know how North Korea funds their weapons programs? They steal and sell drugs. Folks,
I'm gonna come.
they're making it too easy for me. But yeah, Chinese food sucks, to be honest. I mean, it's all right, and it's a great price, and you get great portions, but the flavors, they're mid. That's how you know they're the next superpower, because the food sucks. America, shitty cuisine, better than mosquito patties or borscht or banana leaf soup, but pretty mid. But America is the top dog. They run shit for now. No need to massage a single grain of rice. No time. There's a 9-year-old girl somewhere that's breathing. The clock is ticking. And the Chinese, China, the up and comer, some say they've already come.
I'm gonna come.
Others say they've already been coming this entire time.
I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come.
They need large portions if they're going to be harvesting a Muslim's organs or disappearing some Himalayan monk somewhere.
My name is Andrew Dingus. My name is Andrew
Exactly.
Dingus. My
Huh?
name is Andrew Dingus. My name is Andrew Dingus.
Exactly. And don't even get me started on the Israelis and their cuisine. Great cuisine. You already got me started. Great food, great people, greater Israel. Long live Tel Aviv, folks, and shout out to the Hebrew homeboys. Watched this movie the other day called The Magus. Has a guy named Anthony Kane, I think is his name. He played the butler in The Dark Knight Rises. It was pretty good. It's like, I don't know, 70s or something, 60s. Who knows? It's great. Jeffrey Epstein modeled his temple after his temple. And along with the Neptune statue as well. There's a lot. Even his room, he modeled after thing. Or who knows? What came first? I don't know. Some say the thing was based off a shipping magnate named Onassis. And Onassis might sound familiar because Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. So when JFK got popped, his boo thing married a Greek shipping titan. And the guy was a creep also. I think he might have had some child trafficking allegations or something like that. But really what the thing reminded me of, I think, encapsulated in a sentence, it would be, when desire is at play, logic be damned.
Goblin blood orgy. Goblin.
So an Englishman, he arrives on a remote Greek island, set to be the island's the island boy's all boys school teacher. He's gonna be a school teacher, an English teacher. And oh yeah, look how the eye is going. I forgot. It's going pretty good. Got my wispy. Sometimes the boys they come out of the pool and they rub my leg hair. They come out of the pool and they glisten in the water. That's Joe Biden. So this English guy, he arrives on the island. He's gonna be a school teacher or whatever, and he's surprised by a coworker. Randomly, he didn't tell anyone that he was arriving that day, and he's surprised by a coworker. And the Englishman, he's like, "How did you know I was gonna be here?" And the coworker's like really tongue in cheek. He's like, "I'm a psychic," right? Very, tongue in cheek. Not serious, but you know what I mean. And like at this location or in the scene, a group of young girls gather around him and they're glaring at him rather fondly, I'd say. So,
I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come. Obama.
Yeah. Anyway, he left a promiscuous French girl in London. Heartbroken and blindsided. And, for no other reason than for the sake of adventure. It's never really discussed exactly what his motives were, but I think at some point he just isn't really about commitment. He talks about that, and, it's against his his values and shit like that. So the Englishman, he settles into the school, and after the workday he goes to wander and explore the Isle, treading the forest, he stumbles upon a beach, very idyllic, very isolated, and he undresses himself to go for a swim in the ocean. So he undresses himself
I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come.
and get the all right. You get this is important. Submerges himself in the water. This is crucial. For in the archetypal index of the mind, the waters of the sea represent the unconscious abyss. So after he's done submerging himself, at this moment it cuts to him dressing himself up
I'm gonna come.
and revealing a book of poems placed or planted. It's planted for him to discover. And at this moment, he hears bells playing in the distance, church bells. He follows them, leading to a cliffside villa where he meets the Magus, which is basically a rich Greek guy. That's pretty much as I can sum him up, rich Greek guy. The Magus, he unravels a series of lies and narratives throughout the film, using elaborate stunts and scenes to prop his lies. You know, he plays as a puppet master, director, or god, and he builds these multiple false narratives, even to the disbelief of the Englishman. But important to my point is that he uses, and by I mean, when I say he builds these narratives, he has like props and stuff, and he's like making all these lies up. But then he randomly has like stuff to kind of back it up. So like photographs or antiques or collectibles, you know, being like, oh, I got this in the war, or I got this when I studied at so and so. So he's building it up. But important to my point is that he uses a sultry blonde to entice him to keep coming back to the set. And I say set, very important. All right, now look at this angle of the stone. Very important here. It's going pretty good. I got a good angle.
Goblin blood orgy.
Look at that. Hammer here. Hammer there. Hammer a little here. Yeah. So keep enticing him to come back to the set and further the narrative. And scene plays where, and when I say his scene plays, there's costumes and just weird, elaborate stuff like lighting just that randomly pops up that seems like they're purposefully trying to make him feel like he's imagining things, right? So a scene within a scene plays where a fair girl chased by a satyr, which is half man, half goat-like creature, appear from the darkness into the purview of the Englishman. And once the characters hit their marks at the steps below, so there's stairs and they hit their marks there and they stop. So the girl is getting chased by the satyr, and then they stop once the girl hits the stairs, and once they both hit the stairs. So they stop once they hit their mark, right? And above, a light illuminates Minerva / Athena-like character, you know, the Athena, the goddess of the hunt, adorned with a crescent crown, which, you know, pretty sure the crescent crown represents the dark femininity. Facts. And armed with a bow. So Minerva draws her bow, strikes the satyr, and saves the fair girl. But both the fair girl and Minerva are played by the sultry blonde. Exactly. The blonde that's supposed to be having dinner with him and seducing him furthermore. So somehow these characters are all over the place. Turns out later they were using masks that sort of looked like it, but you get the thing. It's meant to like fuck with his mental, bro. Fucking with his mental, man. And he awakes in his school's quarters, his room that's given to him by his school, and receives a letter from the promiscuous French broad, and she asks to meet soon. They do. And this is another important scene that plays out, because the couple spend the day frolicking in the Greek forest and climbing rocks. Their descent, though, so they climb rocks and they climb hills, but on their descent down and through the forest, they stumble upon a short, hairy goat herder, a satyr-like old man. The French broad asks the satyr, the old man, for water. The herder, the old man, the satyr, he's a goat herder, but I'm calling him a satyr. But the herder doesn't understand. He speaks Greek. The Englishman tries his broken Greek, and on the, giggly old herder, satyr, goat man, with no luck. They sign for water or a drink, and the giggly old herder obliges, turns around, and starts milking a goat into a pot and brings to the broad to drink. A pot of goat milk. So, she drinks it, right? Whatever. And then, so, again, very important, satyr, goats, I don't know if you know this, but a satyr, a devotee or a creature of Pan, and Pan is the god of the forest, and he's known for being a rapist, seducer, party, decadent motherfucker. Just in this other book I read, it talks about him just being like the threshold into madness. So you can also look at the forest as in the unknown, like the unknown of the psyche, the unexplored, and stuff like that. So, hanging out with Pan means you're, going ballistic, you're going apeshit, you're fucking going
Another one.
going crazy, dude.
Another one. Another one. Another.
Goblin blood orgy.
And so it's important that they meet the satyr-like character there. They meet a Pan creature there. What does that fucking mean, bro? And so they start, at a high vantage point with wide open view, right? The full consciousness. And they descend into the forest, the in-between state. I think it's called apogea. Apogea, it's, when you're about to sleep, you maybe are seeing shit or you feel like you're falling, stuff like that. That's the in-between place. You're not really asleep, but you're also not really awake. And that's like what the forest is. And they, stumble us into a hairy, short, fat, old goat herder. Goat. Not sheep. Goat. The visage of Pan. The horny, primal, rapist god of the forest. And the two end up at a small body of water. Again, water, right? Where they submerge themselves. Where they submerge themselves. Right? Keep spamming that. And so they end up in a body of water where they submerge themselves, and cut to them making love on the banks. Can you guess what sound I'm about to use right now?
I'm gonna come.
Exactly. So they're making love on the banks, and and then it cuts to them at her place, where he leaves her again, brokenhearted and blindsided again. She kills herself later because of this. And the Englishman left her to continue the narrative of the Magus, but in reality, he kind of also left her so he can go back to that sexy blonde. He's really into that blonde. And it's then revealed that the island experience has all been what the Greek guy, he calls it meta theater, with every individual on the whole island being an actor. So, uh, all the people there were fake. And I'm not gonna, get into how it ends, because to be honest, a lot of occult imagery is shown random at bit, like serious stuff, but it's the way it's used. It's meaningless depiction of, very valuable esoteric magic symbolism shown, but yeah, it's not really used. But whatever, it's a great movie, but to be honest, they left a lot on the table. And yeah, I don't know, just every single time he gets involved with the blonde, like shit happens crazy, and he keeps making bad decisions just to keep going back to that blonde, costing the life of the French girl. And yeah, it was a really good movie. And but look at this eyeball that I'm finishing up. I think you'll see later on. Yeah, hold on. Wait. Okay. Finishing up. Yep, that's a nice eyeball. Just take a moment to appreciate the eyeball. Again, like I said, I could kind of not crashed out, but the ear on the other side of the corner didn't look like an ear to some people. And I know, an artist has no right to the interpretation of their art. And that's fine. Doesn't mean I'm going to like it. So I did make something. It wasn't interpreted as something. And that's my fault. I guess you just gotta whack the eyes over the head with it. Does that make sense? Gotta make it fucking obvious. That's my fault. And so, again, just figuring things out, dude. I'm not the fucking goat here. I'm not the fucking goat man in the woods. I'm not a fucking magus. I'm just a dumb Englishman falling in love with a stone, dude. And the stone might kill me. What if the stone falls on me? Rock hard stone falling on me, dude. Think about that. And I die because of the stone. I'd love to die by the stone. I'm gonna die by the stone. But yeah, it's going great. What else was I saying? I guess theoretically art should be an escape into another's reality, not really as a mirror for an already narcissistic audience. I don't know if I would consider what I'm doing as crazy art, but anyway, look at this. This is what I ended up doing. I didn't show it, but yeah. Smile you guys later, man.